Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Cookie Monster of ProForgeRacing, bringing you the first video of a new series of 10 videos, which is the best double-wide Sandbox racetrack forgers from Halo 3. The reason I chose only Sandbox is because I didn't really get into racetracks until the era of Sandbox racetracks, so unfortunately, all the maps that were made on Avalanche and Blackout and Foundry and all the other maps I didn't really appreciate enough. However, when I went back and did some of these Halo 3 history videos that I'm doing, I did start to really appreciate a lot of them because I've been downloading a ton of new Halo 3 racetracks. And the reason I chose double wides is because I loved the way double wide maps looked. And so the better it looked from an overview, the more I liked the map, you know, the smoother it was and stuff. I didn't really care for terrain tracks or supercross. I didn't understand them. I thought they were dumb. Tournament tracks as well. So that is why I chose Sandbox double wide maps for this series, because those are the only maps I think, you know, I'm qualified to judge. But these are just the 10 people that I think made the best maps, but there were some people who made better maps than some of these maps. However, the 10 map makers I chose made multiple maps, like a bunch, and that's why. There were a few maps, like, you know, Trident's Twist, and there was Extremity and Paramount by A&F Knight, and there was Blackheart, and there were several other great maps, but those map makers didn't make a whole lot of maps on Sandbox double wide wise. But anyways, the person I chose for number 10 was x2Hip is Rippin, also known in Halo Reach as V-Ionized. He changed his name like a week after Halo Reach came out. And anyways, this first map here is called Meddler, and as you can tell, it's just an incredibly, you know, smooth map. I do believe that he ghost merged a lot, which is also what, after my third map, I started ghost merging a lot. After my fourth map, all I did was ghost merge. The first two I didn't at all. My third and fourth I did a tiny bit. And ghost merging makes it quite a bit easier because you don't have to restart the round for every piece, which is what you had to do in Halo 3. But this is a really good map. It's nice and smooth. There's not a whole lot of scenery on any Halo 3 racetrack, really. There are some scenery pieces on some maps, but you won't see a lot, so I can't judge it on that. This next map here is called Rip Curl, and this is another great smooth racetrack. It goes up onto the dunes. It looks really nice from an overview. x2Hip is Rippin, or V-Ionized, didn't really come into racetrack forging in Halo 3 until even after I did, towards the very end, like June, or most of his maps, the earliest pretty much was like June of 2010, which is about 3 months before Reach came out, so he was very late in the game. However, when I went back, I wasn't initially going to put him in this top 10, but when I went back, he just had so many, his maps were so smooth, and I never realized, you know, quite how smooth, you know, all of his maps were. So I think it was only just to put him as number 10, because plenty of other people who didn't ghost merge and used the regular forging made a few maps, but I just think his are really smooth and good, regardless of ghost merging or not. And so, again, this is another great double wide map. The third map brings us up to the skybox. This map is called Downfall, and this map I have a little bit of trouble at the end on the jump, which you'll see, but overall it's just a great map that intertwines within itself. I love maps that intertwine within itself. When I first downloaded some of my first maps, like Blackheart and Trident's Twist, they were just like these little maps with tons of turns inside each other. I was just amazed. And these types of maps are just really cool, and they just, like, you know, are smaller, but they intertwine within each other a lot. And as most of you know, well, actually, as many of you probably don't know, it was so much harder to forge back in Halo 3. What you had to do was, like, put up a piece, save it in the game, and then put a piece on top of that, and then make it disappear, save it in the game, and then put a piece, you know, where it would be inside of it, and then end the game. So it was crazy. Anyways, this next one's called Inamorta, And this one uses a little bit of terrain for the starting area. I definitely like the starting area out in the dunes. He probably had one of those maps where the guardians were blocked. Those were actually very easy to make. I ended up figuring out how to do that. You just go in front of the guardians, you fly up to them, and then just put a piece in their way. Right from the sky bubble. It was pretty easy. But, yeah, this is a great map. It's really smooth. Pretty lengthy. Maps in Halo 3, of course, you had way less pieces, so they could not nearly be as long. I love this last turn here where he uses the, it's like a wave with just single walls coming from the sand, going back into the sand for the start. I definitely like that. This next map here I decided to throw in because it's called MSR-SX. He remade this and a second version of it in Halo Reach as his first Supercross track in Reach. And I threw this in here because I wanted people to see that there were Supercross tracks in Halo 3 and how much harder it was to make them. And I remember Can't Stop Donut, when I used to play with him a lot in Halo 3, he used to put on Purple Dinosaur's Supercross tracks, and I was always like, these are so dumb, like, they don't look good at all, like, they're not double wides, and these are boring, but I'm sure if I went back now, I would love them. But, yeah, this is a great map. I don't even understand how Supercross maps were possible back in Halo 3. It's hard enough to forge them in Reach when all the pieces go into each other on their own. Reach forging is significantly easy for people who have tried it in both. I forged a lot in Halo 3, so and in Halo Reach, so I can tell you that it was a lot harder in Halo 3. Although, ironically, I made more maps in Halo Reach. I also decided to throw this one in to show that Nationals maps were in there as well. I remember I would always talk about the difference between Supercross and Motocross maps in a Halo, and VI and I would always get really mad, because he'd be like, no, all maps are MX maps. The difference is that indoor ones are Supercross and outdoor ones are Nationals, but they're all in the motocross category because they're all dirt bike maps. And technically he's right. And so the outdoor ones are Nationals, and this one's called Shift Nationals, and this is just an incredible map. If you look at just like how well the jumps work, and there's a jump at the end that's huge, and it just works really well, and it's awesome. It was really fun coming back and playing all these Halo 3 maps. You know, I used to go on YouTube and search, you know, Halo 3 racetracks, and I would find like new ones every day. And it wasn't until several months after I got into forging racetracks that I figured out that you could download them off the internet on Bungie. And as soon as I did that, I started downloading hundreds. I had 4 gamer tags I was downloading to. I was obsessed with them, and I would watch the videos all day before I got my laptop on my shitty little house computer. Or I think my laptop was broken for like several months, and it was just funny. But this one's called Des Moines, which is French. I'm not sure what it's for. He named it, I believe, after a song. But it's got really good waves. This is a really nice map. You can definitely tell he's improving with the more double-wide maps he makes. He's starting to really look, you know, much more like some of the best Sandbox double-wide forgers. I think he's one of the best double-wide forgers in the sense that he made so many great maps. However, he is not... This right here is pretty cool because he made a front flip, which is an awesome stunt right there. And, but he wouldn't be considered amongst one of the greats to almost all the Halo 3s because he came in the game so late. And most people probably haven't heard of him because his maps, you know, he came so late in the game. I came pretty late. You know, I came about a year before it stopped. But he came only a few months before Reach and made so many incredible maps. This one's called Tides, and this is something you'll see a few of these double-wide forgers made in Halo 3. They didn't make the roller coasters that, you know, like BAM 3214 or T7 Convicted or RLD Hot Tamale like they made. They made the smooth roller coasters. You'll see SMM made one as well as Rogue Shadow. This was something that was really popular, and I'm not sure which the first one was, but I'm pretty sure that Rogue Shadow's map Barbarian was the first, like, really smooth roller coaster out there, and that was an incredible map. It really was. I was thinking about maybe doing a top 5 of my favorite Sandbox roller coaster forgers, because I did like some roller coasters in Halo 3 as well, just not quite as much as the double wide maps. But anyways, yeah, this is a really cool map. It's got some fun stunts, some really big jumps in it, and then there's a little elevator that brings you up to a final section with another jump. So it's a fun map, definitely. I remember when he was making this one, it was right around, after I befriended him. And because I was finally becoming active on Halo Tracks. I became a member, and then like months later I became an active member, and I was looking through and I saw a bunch of maps by this guy x2Hip is Rippin, and I was like, wow, these are really good. And I figured he was just some famous guy, but I sent him a message, and I said, you have great maps, and he said, oh, thanks, and then our friendship took off. No, but this one's called Distortion, and right there is an incredible elevator. Obviously not the first map to have an elevator that works like that. However, it's still a very well working elevator. This map right here I definitely think was his, hoorah, like this was his best map. This one looks really great. It's just incredibly smooth. It definitely looks like, a really good professional map. And it's crazy how quickly he made these maps. I remember he showed me when he had the elevator and like 4 pieces after the elevator. And then like a day later, well, not a day, a few days later, the map was like finished. This one was really fun for battle tracks, actually. I remember I didn't know what battle tracks was. I always saw these maps saying battle tracks compatible. And I was like, what is that? And I would see weapons on the map. I always thought battle tracks was Slayer on racetracks. And I was like, I guess that's kind of cool. Just kind of weird. Doesn't seem like it would work that well. But then towards the end, I was in a game with BLH, Spectacular Raw, and that guy Can't, which was BLH's friend. And I was like, oh my god, Spectacular Raw. And I thought it was so cool that I was in a game with him on one of his maps playing battle tracks. So that was cool. But anyways, this is both my last map in Halo 3 as well as Viani's last map. This one is called Conjunction. He started this map up to this point, and I took over right there for this next turn, and after this hill he took over for the next turn, and then I took over for the last little hill and jump part. But this is a map we made together. He started it and just asked me if I wanted to work with him, and I said yeah, sure, because I thought he was a great forger, and I think we worked well together and made a great map. We didn't forge again until Angelic together, but that's alright. But if you ever get back onto Halo 3, you will have trouble downloading his maps because Bungie is closed. So I apologize for that. But stay tuned for the next 9. You don't want to miss them. They get even better. Thanks for watching.